Hi, Shelley here. This piece by Anne LeBear is my inspiration for today's art journal page. I'll have her website listed below if you'd like to check out all of her beautiful art. The sky was what really grabbed me, and I thought this would be another good use for that wallpaper paste I've been using lately. So I hope you'll enjoy this video, that it'll inspire you to break out your art supplies, go through your stash, and get creating. So let's get started. I think I'm going to start by marking where I want my sky and my first hill to start. And I think it's at the 5.5 range. And I don't need it to be perfect, but I need to have an idea of kind of how I want it. I'm just going to draw a little bit of a hill there so that I know that's where my paint and my wallpaper paste is going to stop. And what I want to do is I'm going to put out a little bit of my black. Usually I use the dark gray for my backgrounds. I prefer that most of the time, but in this case, because I'm going to be using a darker color, I think I want to go with the black. And then I've just got a little 6x6 stencil here. And I'm just going to put a few numbers. Not going to go crazy with it. Just like that. And then I've got this wind that I made years ago, Snowy Night. And I cut these out with my Scan and Cut and then decoupage them onto my night sky. But this time I'm just going to use them for like a idea of the wind in the background. Just gonna put a few of these out, and I cut it on paper, on cardstock. Whenever I have a stencil that I probably not going to use over and over again, I save the money on the Mylar and just cut it out of paper because it works great and it will last quite a while. Not forever-ish like a stencil would, but it will still last a good long time. So I will not throw this away. Just want a little something. One more right down here. I don't know how much of this is going to show up, but it's kind of an afterthought of doing this. Okay, there's my wind. Now we'll dry this. Got my dark blue out here, and I want to add just a little bit of my dark gray to that, not very much. And I'm thinking a little bit of water. A little more water. A little more water. And I'm using a sponge this time because I want to get it nice and smooth, but not that my background's already kind of not smooth, but I thought it might give me a little bit more transparency, a little more transparent feel. There, nice and dark, but you can still see my background through it. And now we'll let this dry. Okay, so I've got my Roman Pro 838 heavy duty clear wallpaper adhesive that I bought very inexpensively off of Amazon. And so now I'm thinking, okay, what else can I do with this? I've got a whole stinking jug of this stuff. So I need to come up with some ways to use some wallpaper paste other than doing wallpaper. So I don't think I'm going to need very much, but I'm going to go ahead and put 2 dollops in my little plastic cup. And then I want a lighter blue-gray, so I'm going to put just a little bit of blue, a little bit of my off-white, and a little bit of dark gray. All right, let's see. What that does for us. I like it. At first, I thought I was just going to put the clear paste over it, and I think that would look really cool. But then I decided, let's add some color to it. So maybe I will apply this and then wish I had just done the clear. I'm just playing and trying to use up my paste. So now I'm going to put a good coat on top. Using the same little sponge. Nice and thick. And then I don't have anything with, the only tool I have with teeth is this one, and I just think it's too big for what I'm working on. So I tried to come up with something else that I thought might work. And so we're going to test it out. I took one of my forks and cut it off. Now it's not straight across. I couldn't get it straight across. So I'm gonna try it with this and see how it works. Oh yeah. And then I'm gonna wipe it off each time. I don't want it perfect. And I want my swirls kind of go in different ways so that All right, I think it's cool. Now you can't see my background very well, and that's okay. It's just a little bit of interest. And we'll see if you can see more when it dries. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just experimenting. And I just want some movement here. But I think this is going to give me some nice texture, and what I think is cool too, if I absolutely hated it and it wasn't what I wanted, I can just go right back in and smooth this out again and start again. And you've got quite a little bit of playtime here with this paste I've learned from doing the paste paper. So you can really go nuts with it and get how you want it, but I'm not trying to be too precise. Like I said, I just wanted some movement up here in my sky. So we'll stop there and let this dry and see how long it takes. It's been about an hour and a half and my paste is definitely still very wet. I don't know if you can see that or tell by the shininess, but I think it's looking pretty groovy. But while that is drying, I'm going to kind of set it over here so I don't drop stuff into it. I went through my deli papers and my paste papers, and what I think I want to do is do my background, my hills, in this more muted green, so it's not super in your face, but it's just a nice background, my hills. And then for my treetops, I'm going to do these more colorful. Pink isn't really fall, but I think it's kind of like in the same vein here. Not these edges, but this orangey, reddish in here, I think would be fun for my trees. I don't know, maybe it's not gonna work out, but it's just an art journal page, so I'm just playing and having fun. So I think the first thing I wanna do, I wanna get a feel for my hills. And I definitely need to cover up this arc, so I had a hard time deciding whether I wanted to tear my papers or just cut them. But I think tearing is going to be better, more fun for this application. Okay, I think that is gonna be good. Okay, so I've got my tree stencil that I've cut out of cardstock, and I'm just going to do kind of a rough idea. I'm not trying to get this perfect at all. I'm just trying to get the size. And then what I'm going to do is I want them a little bigger than this, so I'm going to go around and make them just a little bit bigger as well. Well, I like them all. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to use and what I'm not going to use yet, but get a couple more of these guys. I just realized that there's this whole gap here that I didn't do. I love the trees with the dictionary page behind it, so I'm going to cut a couple more of those. Okay, I don't know how many I'm going to use yet, but we'll see how it goes as we get going. I got to thinking about it, and although I like what I've got going on here, I'm wondering if I should put just a little bit of something in between a few for contrast. I don't think the brown, but maybe these two. This got a little brown in it, but let's see. I really like how my paste sky turned out, and I can definitely see, I cannot see my wind very well, but I can see the numbers. I could tell that there's some texture back there, and I think that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna call that a win. I think the left side's gonna be harder to come back and cut them off. So I think I'm going to cut those and let these overhang on this side. You know, maybe I will wait on my trees because I really want to know where I'm going to put my house. So let's let this dry and then we'll continue. I got to thinking about it. This is what I walk away and think about it and change my mind. I think I want my house right in here, and I want one of my trees on the side of the house to be kind of in the backyard looking. So it's not a huge deal, but I'm just going to go ahead really quick and apply this tree. All right, I think that's good. Now we'll let it dry. My page is dry, so now I want to decide where I want the rest of my trees. All right, now we'll let this dry and then we can come in with our paint. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of light gray, off-white, not very much here of the regular white. And I just want to get a little bit of mix of the white and the off-white and roughly put my house in. Just as a guide, really, a starting point. Put a little gray in there as well. A little more white, so we don't just have one color. What is that? Put that on there. I wanted to look older, kind of maybe worn a little bit. What I need there is a mask. Let's where that heel is right there. All right, and then we need our outer building. Now my outer building goes right under this eave here. And I want it to stop at this tree. I want the tree in front. And then, oh, get the right one. And then I'm going to put out a little bit of my dark gray. Just doing some rough windows and doors. Again, I'm using my dark gray here, not my black. I don't know what it is with me, but the black just seems a lot of the time just too harsh for me. So that's why I almost always use the dark gray. Not always, but and I don't need this to be perfect. I want it to be close. But I want it to look a little bit rough. Just to bring my textures all together there. Now I feel that it's a little bit still too bright white for me. A little bit too white and dark. So I think I'm going to try. Let's get another dauber here. And a little more of my off-white. I already got some gray. Don't want very much, just a little bit. There, I like that much better. A little toned down there. Now, cut a little sponge off there. I want to get into that upper area and do the same thing. Have enough control there. Let's put it way down. Get down closer to the base. That's much better. Blend it out a little more. Much better. Now I'm going to take my Stabilo All. I have just hated pencil sharpeners in the past, but I finally found the one that I really like. I bought this off of Amazon, this Prismacolor. It's got 2 spots, just really good. All right, let's start over here. And then I'm just gonna go along my edges to define them and so that each one will stand out. I want it to be kind of subtle. To just smush it with my finger. I also want my tree trunks to be darker, not the same color. So I'm going to use my pen and pencil to do that as well. I don't know how I wound up. The tree was supposed to be behind the house. Somewhere along the line, I did not get lined up properly, but in the scope of things, it really doesn't matter. It's annoying when I make a big deal out of it. That's what I want to do, but then I don't do it. But sometimes it's how it goes. The best laid plans and all. Well, that's my page. I really like how it turned out. Really had fun using the wallpaper paste on another application. Having a lot of fun doing that. I hope you'll try something like this, and I hope you join me in my next video. Bye for now.